There's no question that Fortnite is absolutely dominating the gaming industry right now, with over 125 million total players and 3 to 4 million daily players. Fortnite is the game to play. And part of the reason for its success is because it is so accessible to everyone. No matter what platform you're on, you can play Fortnite. And with the latest addition to the Nintendo Switch, it has got even more accessible. But that does pose the question, is it any good? Let's find out. At E3 2018, Epic announced that they were releasing Fortnite on the Nintendo Switch. Almost immediately after they said that it was going to be released, it was released. And I was meaning to get a Nintendo Switch. I was going to get one in time for the new Pokemon games in November. But this decision kind of spurred me on to get Nintendo Switch a little bit quicker because I absolutely love Fortnite. It's so fun to play. It's so addictive. And being able to play it no matter where I am is a huge plus to me. Whether I'm sat in the studio here like you see it now, whether I'm sat downstairs on the couch, whether I'm out and about at someone's house, I can have Fortnite with me no matter where I am. And that was a huge plus for me getting Nintendo Switch. Now, as I said in the opening of this video, part of the reason for Fortnite's success is that it is so accessible to everyone. It plays on virtually every PC. The spec requirements are so low. You've got it on PS4, Xbox One, now the Nintendo Switch, Mac. It's now on mobile, it's on iOS, soon to be Android. Once it is released on Android, it'll be available on every platform imaginable, well, except Windows phones. But do they even still make them? Yeah, apparently they do. So although playing Fortnite on the go is a huge plus, if the game doesn't play any well, then what's the point? But I am very pleased to announce that it does play really, really well, whether it is in the handheld mode like you're seeing here, or it's docked and you're playing on your TV. It works really good. It's slightly maybe below par to the PC, Xbox One and PS4, but you have got all the hardware inside this screen here, so it hasn't got the sort of power that the other platforms have, but the game compensates for that really, really well. It runs at 30 FPS, which if you guys remember, the original releases of Fortnite also ran at 30 FPS. They did actually change it to 60 FPS fairly recently, and there's probably no doubt that it will end up as 60 FPS on the Nintendo Switch too. Now, one thing I did notice that when it's in docked mode, when you're playing it on the TV, I've got a TV right here in front of me which I play my games on, it is a little bit stretched out at times. Not so much stretched out, but a little bit pixelated, maybe a little bit rough around the edges. I mainly noticed it with the battle bus, and sometimes your character can seem a little bit pixelated around the edges, not as smooth as on other platforms. This is a 40-inch TV that I've got in front of me, which I'm using as a monitor right now, but when I'm playing my PS4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, I put it on this screen. So I've got the bigger gaming experience here, then I've got a smaller TV here, which I use just to sort of monitor my PC at the time when I'm playing. So I've played Fortnite on the PS4 and Xbox One on this screen here, and I've also played it on the Nintendo Switch on this screen, and it isn't as sharp around the edges, but it's not a big deal at all. The game, it still looks absolutely fantastic. It still plays the same as the other platforms, and there's not a massive noticeable difference that would make it not playable in my opinion. Now, I would say that people that own a Pro controller or another controller such as this one might be at a slight advantage over people that are playing using the Joy-Cons like this, because the controllers that you get, the Pro controllers and the similar controllers, are more similar to the likes of the PS4 and the Xbox One controllers. So if you have came over from one of those platforms, it might be a little bit easy to adjust to, but I'd say overall there's still a bit of a learning curve even though you're using a similar controller. I'd probably estimate that everyone's skills probably dropped about 20 to 30% when playing the Nintendo Switch. It'll probably get back up there over time if you keep sticking at it, but I wouldn't say there's a huge disadvantage of playing with the Joy-Cons. I actually got my first ever solo Victory Royale playing with the Joy-Cons like this. I was playing it in handheld mode on my couch yesterday. I was just playing away, and I got my first ever Victory Royale. I've tried over 400 games on PS4 and never managed to get a win. I also got a win earlier today using this controller, so you can get wins no matter what. If you don't think that you have to go out and spend 55, 60 quid or whatever it is on a Pro controller in order to get a win, you can still very much get a win using the Joy-Cons in handheld mode. I don't know if you can use the Joy-Cons on the own like you do when you play multiplayer, where you sort of hold the control to the side because you haven't got a second pad to look around at. If you can play it that way, do not play it that way, because you'll suck. You won't be able to do anything. So either in handheld mode or with a Pro controller if you want to play it on your big screen. But don't think you have to play it on your big screen in order to get the win. But now when it comes to the gameplay mechanics of the gameplay is virtually the same as the other platforms. It's very easy to adjust to. But one thing I did notice when playing in the handheld mode is you've got your back sort of trigger buttons here which shoot, aim, especially you've got the ones here that build and you cycle through the weapons, stuff like that. I've noticed that the buttons are so close together and they're so sensitive that there's times where you're in the middle of a gunfight, maybe you're aiming, you're shooting the air, and you sort of glide your finger accidentally, maybe in the heat of the moment, over the R button or the L button. Next thing you're trying to sort of shoot with a mini potion. And it's super annoying. There's been times where I've actually been killed because it's switched weapon without me realising, because the buttons are so sensitive, and that is really, really annoying. That's probably the only downside I've found about playing in this way. Apart from that, I don't think it matters which way you play it, to tell you the truth. I've had some good games on both of them, but maybe the button sensitivity needs to be sort of altered a little bit. Maybe Epic will patch that over time. And although I said that I got my first, in fact I've got 2 Victory Royales on Nintendo Switch, unfortunately it doesn't track the stats at the minute, which absolutely sucks. I've got a separate account. I've got my PS4 account that I mainly use. Now I made a sort of a second account for the Xbox One, and now I'm using it for the Nintendo Switch. And it shows that I've played like 1 or 3 games or something like that on it, and obviously got no wins at all because I've only got wins on the Nintendo Switch. Whether Epic were actually tracking the stats now will maybe implement the tracking feature later on and maybe add them to your scores, I'm not entirely sure. But as of right now, there's no way to check your stats. And maybe that is because a lot of people are obviously going to be playing Fortnite for the first time. A lot of Nintendo Switch owners who never played another platform. And it is quite often that you find people that don't have a clue what they're doing. So players who are more experienced at the game, whether it's on Xbox or PC, might come over to Nintendo Switch to try and get some few easy kills, get some easy wins, sort of take out all the noobs. So maybe because they don't want everyone's stats being fluffed up by Nintendo Switch wins, maybe they aren't tracking them at the minute. Basically wait until the learning curve sort of like evens out a bit. Maybe sort of, so you get the good players and then you've got the Switch players that are also good players. Now maybe that's when they'll implement it. So although that is a downside, it might actually turn some of the PC and Xbox players away from it. That's not a bad thing in my opinion, because then you haven't got those people who are coming over for the easy wins. They're just going to keep playing on their platform. Nintendo Switch people can play, learn and grow on their own platform, get better at the game, and then obviously maybe integrate with other platforms over time. And although the game has probably been out less than a week, I think it is, and I only got my Nintendo Switch on Friday. The first time I ever played a Nintendo Switch was last Friday. I'd say the learning curve is already starting to even out a little bit. It's surprising how many new players, or you guess the new players because the default skins, but not people that are going around getting 17, 20 kills in a match, but the ones that are, you can tell they're fairly new players, but they're starting to get to grips with the game fairly quickly. So I think the learning curve is starting to even out a little bit. Previous players obviously still have the advantage, but I don't think it would take long before the Nintendo Switch players are just as good as the PS4 and Xbox One guys. There's still a few kinks that need to be ironed out of the game, but overall, it's fantastic. The game has been out on here about a week. Obviously, as time goes on, Epic may introduce a 60 FPS for it. They might smoothen out the game a little bit, make it look a little bit nicer. Hopefully, they may reduce the button sensitivity, so you've got to put more of effort to change things, and you don't accidentally glide over, or you don't accidentally press it in, because these buttons are easily pressed. So hopefully, they do stuff like that over time to make the game work a little bit better. But I think it has a bright future on the Nintendo Switch. A lot of people are downloading it, a lot of people are playing it, and people are going to be buying Switches like me to play Fortnite Battle Royale on. And the fact that I've played it up here, I've played it on my couch. I took it to my grandparents' house yesterday and I played some games of Fortnite, sat on their couch just chilling out, playing it. It's absolutely fantastic and one of the big pluses about the Nintendo Switch. It is so accessible and I love it on here, and I'm getting very, very addicted once again to Fortnite. Let me know what you guys think of it down below in the comment section. Have you got a Nintendo Switch? Have you tried Fortnite on the Switch? Let me know in the comment section. Maybe if you want to do some duos, maybe people start posting their usernames, whether it is PS4, PC, Xbox One, Switch, anything like that. If you've got an account on Epic, let me know in the comment section. Maybe let other people know as well. Maybe find some duos and squad partners, because it can be surprisingly quite tricky to find people that you know who play Fortnite. Even though it's one of the most popular games in the world, I don't really know many people who play Fortnite in my own personal circle of friends. So let me know, let other people know your epic tags down below in the comment section. You might be able to find a new partner to play with, and hopefully I will too. But hopefully you guys have enjoyed this video today. If you have, make sure you give the video a big fat thumbs up. If you're new around here, also subscribe with notifications on. Click the subscribe button, click the notification bell, then click all that way you'll never miss out when a video goes live on the channel. Whether it is Fortnite gameplay, Victory Royales, news, tips, tricks, guides, you name it. Anything Fortnite related on this channel, or any of the other gameplays and walkthroughs that I do for all the other games out there. My name is Doodles. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.